Greetings, Internet people. RantingRamsay here. How are you all doing today? I'm not doing so bad. I'm a little tired, but that's just about every day, especially when I have to work. Excuse me. Anyway, today I'm not really covering new topics so much as, kind of doing a follow-up, as it says, on a couple of topics that I've done recently. And actually, this first part is actually kind of funny to me, because this has happened before. It happened at least 2 times. One time I can specifically think of, if some of my longer time watchers would remember, I did a rant a couple of months ago touching on our video games art argument, and then literally like 3 days after I released that rant and put it up here on YouTube, I have a subscription to Game Informer, and Game Informer arrived at my house, and there was a 7, 8, 9 page article right in the middle of the magazine about the argument for games being art, which just kind of made me go, sure, curse you, Game Informer, for doing a better job than I did. Well, you know what? They've done it again, because this month's Game Informer arrived in my mailbox literally 2 days, or not even that, maybe 1 day, not long at all after I had decided to put together the rant for the California game ban thing. And look at that. Look at that. Wouldn't you know? Curse you, Game Informer! Or maybe that just shows that I'm really on top of things, if I'm pulling rants out of my pocket before the Game Informer issue even comes to me to show me what to... Anyway, I don't know. But there were actually a few things that they said in this article about exactly what I made a rant about the other day that I really wanted to bring out to you, because I know that I recommend that people go and read things a lot, but I don't know that they actually do. So I'm going through 3 different passages from this article that I found that were just really good. And so I'm actually going to read them to you. These are the words of Matt Miller. These are not my words. Matt Miller, a contributing writer for Game Informer. I do not take credit for Matt's words, and am using these to analyze and critique under the Fair Use Act. Bite me! So, the first thing that, it had a much more concise summary of the law, which basically says the law eschews the ESRB rating system and demands a separate set of descriptors be applied. It describes a violent game as one in which, quote, the range of options available to the player includes killing, maiming, dismembering, or sexually assaulting an image of a human being, end quote. The bill also details what it means by each of those words and extends its description to include characters with, quote, substantially human characteristics, end quote. Well, it pretty much just covers any game, really. I mean, unless you're just playing with amorphous pixels, 95% of the characters in games either are human or represent humans or identifiable with humans to the point of being alive and injurable and all this other shit. So it just seems like really broad masterstroke on their point. And then the article goes on to say, according to the bill, a game falls under the law cannot read. Hooked on findings work for me. According to the bill, a game falls under the law if, quote, a reasonable person considering the game as a whole would find it appeals to a deviant or morbid interest of minors. Oh, God. Okay, because let's look at this. Now, I know that most of my subscribers would probably consider me to be a fairly reasonable person. I get messages and comments a lot where people commend the way I present my arguments and the words that I choose to use and the linear logic that I choose to use in my arguments. So, there's at least 900 people that would consider me a, quote, reasonable person. But I guarantee you, the motherfuckers making this law would not consider me a reasonable person. So where's our base of reference for a reasonable person? Because to you people, I'm a very reasonable person. I speak my mind well, but to those people, I'm part of the enemy. And the fact that I play video games at all, more than likely, means that I'm an unreasonable person, especially since I like first-person shooters in games in which I wind up shooting and killing people. This makes me feel better about the fact that I can't do that in real life without severe and long-lasting repercussions. But I digress. So, moving on, there was a neat little interview in the article, which the guy actually says some really wonderful things. And it says, Game Informer asked ESA spokesman Rich Taylor about the challenges the bill presents to the gaming industry. Quote, "Do you want the government even beginning to get into the area of deciding what can and can't be sold and marketed, and ultimately, what can and can't be created?" Taylor asks. As someone who enjoys video games, do you believe that form of creative entertainment deserves the same constitutional protections afforded to books, films, and music, and other forms of popular entertainment? You know what? That's a good fucking question. Why can movies be made that the way they are with violence and all this other stuff, and the worst they get is, oh, it's got an R rating. You have to be with your parent if they're going to take you to the... Well, you know what? Why not just have that be the same way with games? Oh, wait a minute. That's the way it currently is with the ESRB system. Oh, that's the way it is. What the fuck are we trying to do here? Oh, come on, people. Think about it. Anyway, the last part I want to read from the article, and I bet you're all going, oh, thank God, because this motherfucker can't read for shit. I told you, it's going to work for me. Anyway, but why is a law necessary? The ESA claims to have one of the strongest entertainment ratings organizations in any medium. Quote, "We take great pride in the Entertainment Software Ratings Board," Taylor says. "The Federal Trade Commission looks at movie ratings, music labeling, and video game ratings every 2 years or so. Consistently and increasingly so, it says that the ones that are doing the best job in educating and being clear at the retail level is the video game industry." So one of the organizations, one of the people that look over the whole game rating and movie rating and music labeling system says video games are doing a great job. They're doing the best job. And yet we still find ourselves looking at the possibility of these stupid laws pushed through by these stupid, rich, fat, fucking white people with nothing better to do than try to collect fines. That's what this whole thing boils down to. As the article says, I didn't read that part, a $1,000 fine for each retailer that sells each copy of a game that is rated to someone of a certain age. If they sell someone under, it's $1,000 fine. Considering that the video game industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, that's a lot of fucking money in the long run. Okay. So that's the first thing that I really wanted to talk about, and so that you need to go out and get this month's Game Informer and read that article, because, like I said, I just barely even picked little pieces out of it. There's so much more information that's in there. And so there you go, there you have it. And then the other thing I want to touch on, it was one of my watchers by the name of I Like PS2s asked me a question. He said, "So I watched your video on general religion, now I have a question. The question is, do you think evangelists, religious extremists, and or religious politicians actually believe in a deity, or are they just cons?" So, I think there is a fair percentage of these evangelists and faith healers and politicians who prop themselves up with God that are just speaking to a constituency, basically. I know that's a political term, but I'm using it as a blanket term because I fucking feel like it. Anyway, my wife just said something absurd from the kitchen and totally derailed my train of thought. Is you is, oh is you ain't my constituency. If you haven't seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, you need to. Great movie. Anyway, thank you for derailing my train of thought. I shake my fist at you. You and Game Informer are on the same level now. And anyway, back on point. Like I said, I think there is a fair percentage of these people that are pandering to the masses, the religious masses, and claiming that they believe, and they really don't believe in their deity. And I think that there are a percentage of them that really do believe every word that they say. And to be absolutely perfectly fucking honest with you, those are the dangerous ones. I have no problem with the people who are bullshitting, because they're full of shit and they know it. And at least we're on that same level. I'm looking at you going, you're absolutely full of shit, and the look in their eyes goes, you know what, I am full of shit, but it's fucking harmless, because they're not going to take it to the extreme. It's the people who actually believe the bullshit that flies out of their fucking mouths in regards to, like, evangelism, they're the ones you gotta watch out for. Alright, that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. Got a little long, got a little intense, but that's okay, because that's me, that's what I fucking do. I'm RantingRamsay, and that is all.
Hey, did you get all that, man?